admissions that there were 2 fires lit inside the living room area of this home, and it is our contention and proof, Your Honor, that we have shown that it was this defendant. She herself lit these fires and left this victim to die. Specifically, what we know from Justin Fiegel's testimony and tying up the timeline with regard to this case is that this defendant remained there in the home about 8 to 9 minutes by herself. Her claim is during that time she was raped a 3rd time and that the defendant then passed out on the bed. Now, I acknowledge we obviously were not present there, but when looking at her statement and the inconsistencies with regard to her statement as to when she was raped and how many times and what was really happening, it lends to be incredible with regard to the fact that it was Justin Fiegel who came into that house with no provocation, no reason whatsoever, and lit the fires. What we also know, based upon the defendant's actions after the fact, is that she is texting her boyfriend, stating that it's done, riding with him in a car to get out to Lawrence, burning her clothing, and throwing away her cell phones, which have this text messaging back and forth with her boyfriend as well as Justin Flegel. She also changes up her story when she's talking to the officer about whether or not Justin contacted her or she contacted him. By her stating he contacted her, she's alluding to the fact that he came to that home with a specific intent and purpose. Well, when reviewing the records, it's to the contrary. She was the one, Your Honor, who lured him to that home on that night. All under the guise, we hear, of being raped. We don't know one way or the other whether or not this defendant was raped by the victim. But what we do know is her actions are not consistent with people coming to her aid, offering assistance with regard to reporting the rape. What we know is that she does not like this victim, that she uses him, that she's disgusted by his house, that she has this pattern of behavior that whenever she's needing something from him or wanting something, she shows up there. There was an argument. Something happened to the point where she took a bottle and struck him in the head. With regard to her actions and what she chose to do that night, she was determined to finish it. She was trying by her text messages to get David Wise to come to the home. She says under the guise of getting away from the home, but when she's had multiple opportunities to get away from her alleged perpetrator, she takes none of them until she finishes it and it's done. She left him knowing full well he was either knocked unconscious by the bottle that she'd struck him in the head with. We know from the medical examiner it was at least 2 times. Left him in a home with the intent that when she lit those fires, that she would cause or have a reasonable conclusion that she could draw from that, that indeed the arson or the fire would ultimately kill him. As a result of the evidence that has been presented to the court, we would ask that you find at this time that we have proved, at least by probable cause, Count 1 and Count 2, and bind her over. Thank you.